Hello everyone, Don with Resolute Outdoors here. Now, in kind of the modern EDC culture that we kind of live in, EDC and outdoorsman and preparedness type culture, the most common knives we hear and we hear and see and talk about are your modern kind of G10 scaled or micarta scaled knives, lots of fancy types of steel, liner locks, flipper designs, automatic knives, stuff like that. And something that I don't think gets talked about enough and has a lot of reasons that they can still bring value to your EDC or whatever you carry a knife for is your traditional pocket knife. So when I say that, I mean things like these kind of camp knives with a couple different functions in them here. Maybe your Swiss Army knife type knife. Maybe just as kind of a camp knife style here as well. And then something like maybe a lock back design, kind of a buck 110 knockoff here, or just your single blade or multi-blade slip joint type knife. Now, I think these knives aren't talked about enough, and I want to go over today 5 reasons why I think you should consider carrying one of these knives. First and foremost is that they are super stowable, since they're not really designed with a lot of texture or any texture at all on the grips. Very minimal texture on this knife, and really none on this one as well. They go in your pocket well. They don't tear up your pocket. They have rounded edges that can be put into different pockets and stowed away. So this knife in particular, I carry this typically in my backpack that I carry for work every day, and this fits perfectly in a pouch for a pen. So where you'd have a normal slot to put a pen in, this can slide right in here. This isn't my EDC, but I always have it with me in case I need another knife. Now my Buck Vantage wouldn't fit there with the pocket clip and with the flipper design and just the more bigger footprint that the more modern knives have. This wouldn't fit. That wouldn't fit in there like this knife does. Second big reason I think these knives are great is since they don't have pocket clips. These are super stowable. And they carry super deep. You're not going to lose them. I can't tell you the amount of times of a knife that I've had with a pocket clip is something I've lost. Just going about my day, or I take that pocket clip and it scratches up against my car or my house or a doorway or something like that. These carry super deep. You can put these in your pockets and they'll never fall out. You'll almost never lose them unless you're actually using them. And you can put lanyards on a lot of these designs. Not this one here, but any one of these, Swiss Army knives or these camp style knives, you can put lanyards on these easily and kind of get a similar ease of access from your pocket without having to worry about losing them or them just getting lifted out of your pocket like a lot of modern knives with pocket clips would be in danger of happening to them. The third big reason I think these knives are awesome is that these are basically the original multi-tool. So if you don't want to carry a multi-tool around, and I typically do carry a Leatherman Wingman around, but if you don't want to carry a multi-tool around, you obviously have your knife blade on these type of knives here, and you have it's kind of like an awl or a poker tool on this one in particular. I've carried this one pretty extensively. I picked this knife up secondhand. You can see the finish is almost all worn off now. I've been very pleased with this design. But you have your can opener and your bottle opener on these. A little bit hard to get out here sometimes. But you kind of have a pry bar here, things that you wouldn't have otherwise in a normal, traditional pocket knife. Now, obviously, your Buck 110 copies don't have that benefit. But even these ones who aren't, don't have the full capabilities of like your Swiss Army knife, they still have more capabilities and more features to lend you aid if you need them than your traditional knife, your common, not traditional, but your common modern EDC pocket knife would have. I mean, my Buck Vantage, a lot of the other common knives out there, like Benchmates and stuff like that, they don't have a lot of extra features. They have one blade and that's it. So being able to kind of get some more of these features in your knife, I think is something that's a big benefit and something that you would like to have if you just only want to carry a knife around. Now, if you carry a multi-tool around, then carry your more modern knife and a multi-tool. That's what I do a lot of times. But there is times where I don't really need all that capability. I'll just carry this. I can use this for a multitude of things. and I'm not as unprepared if I just had my buck vantage. The fourth big reason that these knives are awesome is that they are heirloom quality. I don't have it with me now, but a lot of times, maybe not this one from Walmart, but some of these other knives here, or some of the case knives, they are typically something that is made in America or made with better quality materials, something that just the design itself lends itself to be something that can last a lot longer and be more robust in the long term. I don't have it with me here, but I do have a knife from my grandfather. It's a case knife. It's a small little pocket knife. It's from my great grandfather. I'm sorry, I think I said grandfather earlier. And he carried that the majority of his life, from what I understand. I never got to meet the man, but it was something that he used pretty extensively. You can see by the wear on the blade that it did have a lot of use and a lot of wear on that knife. So these are something that you can pass on from generation to generation. Knives like this one's a vintage knife. I've had this one for a while, but I would say, I don't know for certain. I can't find anything about this brand. It was made in Ireland. But I would say this knife's probably made in the 70s or the 80s. It's still a good knife to have. Maybe it's newer, but it's still, these knives can be more robust and be things that you can carry on to your children later on. And lastly, I think the biggest reason, and I hate that this is a reason, but it is that knives like this don't draw the attention that more of your modern flippers and OTFs do. Even the most anti-knife person out there, grandfather probably carried something that looked like one of these. So if you pull this out in a place where maybe knives are allowed, but they're you're still going to get a side eye potentially if you pull one out to do a task with. These knives won't draw that kind of attention, and I hate that that's a thing. We should be able to carry our knives anywhere we want, but it just is the reality of the world we live in. So this is something that you can carry around in weddings or funerals or something like that, and no one is going to be upset if you use this knife around them, or maybe your office at work or wherever isn't super knife friendly. So that's my big reason on why I think these knives are awesome. I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is Dawn with Resolute Outdoors. Until next time, I'll see you.